Visuals. Rapid cuts of Caitlin Clark highlights, league crowds, Adam Silver, Kathy Engelbert, news headlines. What if one basketball superstar could shake the foundations of an entire league? What if the power she brings could force the highest executive in the sport to take drastic action? That's what's unfolding right now. Caitlin Clark, the WNBA's brightest new star, is at the center of a firestorm that's threatening the job of the WNBA Commissioner. Yes, Adam Silver, the NBA Commissioner, is now entangled in this drama. And people are asking, is this the moment the WNBA leadership changes forever? In this video, we dig deep. We'll examine how Clark's blazing popularity and influence have triggered demands for accountability. We'll trace the conflict from small comments to major fractures, and show why insiders believe Kathy Engelbert's position may be untenable. Is this just clickbait? Not at all. The stakes are real. Pay equity, governance, league identity, and respect for women's basketball all hang in the balance. So buckle up, because what Caitlin Clark has ignited may rewrite the rules of power in women's pro sports and force a change at the top. Let's begin. Caitlin Clark's meteoric rise and the Clark effect. Caitlin Clark didn't just enter the WNBA. She exploded onto the scene. From her dominant college career to her rookie season, she's broken records, drawn viewership, and become a marketing juggernaut. The Clark effect is no exaggeration. Franchise stores report massive jumps in merchandise sales, social media following has soared, and the league's visibility has reached levels unseen in decades. Wikipedia +1. Her presence has reshaped the financial landscape of the WNBA. Some analysts estimate her impact has added hundreds of millions of dollars in value to the league overall. Teams are seeing greater ticket demand, streaming numbers are peaking, and sponsors are circling. In short, Clark doesn't just play, she moves the ecosystem. Wikipedia. But with great influence comes expectation. As her star rises, so do the questions around whether the league's structure and leadership are built to support someone of her magnitude. In many ways, Caitlin Clark is pressing the WNBA to evolve, and not everyone in the power hierarchy is ready for that pressure. Flashpoint, the grateful comment and fallout. The conflict gained momentum when player Nafisa Collier alleged that WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert made a remark suggesting that Clark should be grateful to the league for her sponsorship deals, implying that without the WNBA, Clark wouldn't have her current earnings. People.com +2. Within hours, that comment sparked outrage. Clark, upon learning the allegation, voiced her support for Collier's statement, saying players deserve a commissioner who understands their value and fights for them. Engelbert responded publicly, labeling the claims inaccuracies and calling for calm, but the damage was done. People.com. The Sun +1. This moment became a turning point. What once could be dismissed as internal friction became headline drama. Players rallied. Media scrutiny intensified. The players strike back unity and pressure. What's unique about this moment is how unified the players have become. Stars across the league publicly backed Collier and Clark. Aya Wilson expressed disgust at the alleged comments. Others demanded structural change and accountability. Reuters +1. Collier even canceled a scheduled meeting with Engelbert, citing a lack of accountability and signaling that the relationship was beyond repair. The union and players began amplifying demands. Fairer compensation, transparent leadership, revenue sharing, and respect. Axios. Reuters +1. At every turn, Clark's name looms large. Even when she's not speaking, her presence is felt. She's become a symbol, a test case of whether the WNBA can lead its own future or remain under structures built for older models. The players are not just pushing back. They are coalescing behind a new vision for the league. Enter Adam Silver, why he can't stay out of this. Adam Silver, as NBA Commissioner, has long been viewed as a more progressive voice in basketball governance. But now, the WNBA drama has drawn him in directly. He's publicly acknowledged relationship issues with the players above and beyond economics. CBSSports.com. Silver's involvement isn't accidental. As the WNBA grows, its fortunes increasingly affect NBA interests. The league's media deals, brand value, and cross-league synergies make it imperative for the NBA to maintain stability in the women's game. CBSSports.com+1. Sources report that Silver is exerting internal pressure behind the scenes, leaning on WNBA governance to restore trust or replace leadership. Some insiders suggest he sees Engelbert's position as untenable, not just for optics, but for maintaining investor and sponsor confidence in the WNBA's trajectory. If Silver becomes the deciding voice in a change at the top, the ripple effects will be enormous. Why Engelbert's leadership is now in question. Cathy Engelbert has overseen notable growth in the WNBA, new expansion, rising viewership, and increased sponsorships. But critics argue growth alone is not enough. Her leadership style, in the view of many players, has lacked empathy, transparency, and player connection. Reuters +1. The alleged grateful comment was more than a misstep. It exposed a disconnect between the commissioner and the athletes she serves. Players say she hasn't bridged that gap. Adding to this, the formation of a new State of the Game committee by Engelbert, intended to respond to crises like officiating, was criticized as vague and lacking substance. San Francisco Chronicle. In a league built on trust and representation, the commissioner is meant to be a steward for players. When that foundation erodes, the leader becomes vulnerable. And for many, Engelbert now embodies that breakdown. What must change? Players' demands and vision. The backlash isn't merely about a comment, it's about a broader vision. Players are demanding more than just apologies. Their core goals, fairer compensation and revenue sharing, to ensure that the expanding revenues of the league translate to meaningful pay. Transparent, accountable governance. Leaders who openly share decision-making and include player voices. Structural reforms, including better benefits, expanded roster spots, off-season flexibility, and better global integration. Respect and culture shift, a culture where athletes are collaborators, not just assets. In short, the players are staking a claim. The WNBA shouldn't just grow bigger. It should become smarter, more equitable, and more responsive. The stakes for the WNBA and women's sports. If this turmoil leads to a new commissioner, it's not just a personnel shift. It signals a new epoch for women's pro sports. The WNBA has been riding a wave of momentum. Record attendance, social media buzz, historic media deals. Reuters +1. A leadership reset could accelerate that momentum. But if handled poorly, it could fracture trust, scare off sponsors, or discourage top talent. The league can't afford to be seen as unstable. Moreover, the WNBA struggles are emblematic of many women's leagues globally. Questions of leadership, structural design, respect, and voice. If the WNBA emerges stronger, it can become a model. If it stumbles, it becomes a warning. How this compares to other league power struggles. This is not the first time athlete power has collided with league authority. In leagues like the NFL, MLB, and NBA, players have pushed for stronger unions, revenue sharing, and leadership accountability. But what makes this case unique? Clark is a rookie-level figure yet carrying influence. The WNBA is still in a growth phase. Internal conflict now has magnified impact. The gender element. Women's leagues face more structural constraints and scrutiny. In many ways, the WNBA is undergoing a power struggle earlier in its maturation curve than some men's leagues did. That means the outcome here could shape decades of precedent. What a change in commissioner would mean. If Cathy Engelbert is replaced or forced out, what might happen? A new commissioner could be more attuned to player concerns, ushering in reforms faster. Trust might be rebuilt, facilitating smoother CBA negotiations. Investors and sponsors might gain renewed confidence in league stability. But there's risk, transitional chaos, power vacuums, or misalignment between board and new leadership. Still, if Silver and league leadership commit to a clean break with past culture, this could be the turning point. The WNBA needs to become truly elite in both sport and governance. What happens next and conclusion? Right now, the clock is ticking. The current collective bargaining agreement, CBA, expires October 31st, 2025. The negotiations are in flux, trust is strained, and pressure is mounting. Meanwhile, media narratives will intensify. sponsors will watch closely, and players remain united.
Reuters +1.
Will Silver step in and appoint an interim commissioner? Will Engelbert resign or be ousted behind closed doors? Will the players' movement lead to structural transformation or be stalled by negotiation politics? One thing is certain. Caitlin Clark's influence has transcended on-court performance. She's become a flashpoint for change. Whether that change takes the form of a new leader or a reimagined league, this is an inflection moment. Closing urge to viewers. If you follow the WNBA, this is one to watch closely. If you believe athletes deserve stronger voices, this could be historic. Drop your thoughts in comments. Will Engelbert stay? Will Silver make the call? And how far do you think the Clark revolution will go? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell. We'll be covering every twist in this saga.